It's late 2025, and, the whole atmosphere in the AI space has just completely changed.
It really has.
For the last couple of years, it felt like this massive, endless party, all speculation, all fun.
The move fast and break things era.
Exactly. Well, the confetti is all swept up, the velvet ropes are down, and the regulators have arrived. The AI party is definitely over.
It is. The era of serious liability and industrialization has begun.
That's the perfect way to frame it.
Yeah, the field hasn't just grown up, it's matured almost instantly. It's shifted from like an experimental hobby to a core operational reality for every big company.
So our mission today is a true deep dive into this new landscape.
Right. We're moving past the initial hype to focus on the hard realities. Compliance, the global battle for infrastructure, and the agentic tech that's making it all possible.
And we've synthesized a fantastic stack of sources for this. We're looking at European AI magazines, reports from summits like the KI Innovation Summit in Renningen.
Deep white papers on agentic systems, and of course, detailed analysis of the EU AI Act.
And what's the one thing that just jumps out from all of them?
The cost of waiting. The penalty for inertia.
Yeah.
For anyone who waited, that lack of prep is now a huge, measurable liability risk. Competence isn't a buzzword anymore.
It's the most valuable currency.
It is. Especially now that those deadlines are biting. Hard.
Okay, let's unpack that first big shift, the compliance reckoning.
The term gold rush is just, it's obsolete now.
Yeah, you don't hear it anymore.
No, it's all about security, long-term utility. At that Bosch KI summit earlier this year, the vibe was just totally different. It wasn't about what could be built.
It was about what should be built responsibly.
Precisely. The analogy that really stuck with me was this. The honeymoon with AI is over, and now it's about the marriage contract.
The marriage contract, I like that. So utility security and ironclad compliance.
Exactly.
And nowhere is that contract more legally binding than in Europe right now. Let's get into the EU AI Act, because as of December 2025, we are deep in it.
We really are. And people need to remember, some of these rules have been enforced for months already.
Right.
The legal obligation for KI competence in Article 4 and the outright ban on forbidden practices under Article 5.
Things like emotion recognition at work or manipulative nudging.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Those deadlines hit back in February 2025. So companies have had almost a year to get this sorted. If they haven't, they're already non-compliant.
And the penalties, I mean, this isn't just a slap on the wrist.
Oh, it's existential. For those forbidden practices in Article 5, the fines go up to a stunning 35 million euros.
Or 7% of global turnover.
7%.
Yeah.
And even for general noncompliance, like say you fail to do the Article 4 training, that's still over 15 million euros or 3% of turnover.
The sources are all clear on this. Ignorance is not an excuse.
It's a financial time bomb.
What's interesting to me is how quickly compliance went from being this necessary evil to a real competitive advantage.
Absolutely. Especially in creative industries. Think about agencies.
Right.
Since the GPAI rules came into force back in August, they have to guarantee their entire tool chain is copyright clean.
Every single part of it.
Every model, every piece of data.
Yeah.
The conversation with clients has flipped. It's not, can you use AI? It's, is your workflow compliant and legally defensible?
Wow.
That shift is massive.
So this isn't something you can just hand off to the legal department?
No way. It has to be part of the entire company culture. That's why that Bosch anecdote is so powerful. They've already trained 65,000 employees.
65,000.
And they weren't trained to be developers. They were trained on the risks, the use cases, the guardrails. It turns your whole workforce into a defense layer.
Which brings us back to that great quote from Dr. Florian Mueller.
Winners don't develop an AI strategy. They develop a business strategy in the AI age.
Which means AI is no longer a tech project. It's just business, whether you're in HR, marketing, manufacturing.
It's everything. The IT department isn't just installing tools. They're implementing compliance. The entire company's risk profile rests on it.
Okay, let's zoom out from the regulatory headache to the global playing field. The U.S. and China still just dominate everything. The U.S. valuation alone is, what, $2.53 trillion?
Staggering. And Europe, well, Europe often gets trapped in that old, irritating saying.
The U.S. innovates, China replicates.
And Europe regulates. Exactly. But what's fascinating now is Europe's actual strategic response, which is all about one concept: digital sovereignty.
So Europe knows it can't just outspend the U.S. on venture capital.
No, or match the scale of China's data. So instead, the focus is on control, trust, and resilience.
And we're seeing actual European champions emerge from this strategy.
We really are. I mean, look at Mistral AI in Paris, valued around $14 billion now. They're pushing open source on a global scale.
Then you've got DeepL.
Still the undisputed king of industrial language translation. And critically, you have LF Alpha, which is laser-focused on sovereign AI for business and the public sector. They get that German industry needs local control.
So sovereignty isn't just about having European models?
Not at all. It's about controlling the standards, the architecture underneath. It's about preventing proprietary lock-in.
And we're seeing projects that reflect that.
Definitely. Look at the Sophie project in Germany. They're building a massive 100 billion parameter open model. That's a strategic asset. Associations like APEL are pushing an open source first plea.
Because it's a security line, it prevents total reliance on systems that could be subject to, say, foreign laws.
Exactly. But none of that matters if you don't control the physical ground it all runs on.
Right, the infrastructure battleground.
Which is the single biggest factor for true sovereignty. So we're seeing this huge push for regional data hubs like Mucon X in Munich. It's built to operate strictly under German jurisdiction, designed for total compliance.
And what's wild is that this isn't just about following the law. It's driven by cold, hard cash.
The financial advantage is monumental. The studies are showing that if you switch from a major global hyperscaler to one of these European alternatives, you can see up to a 73% reduction in operating expenses.
Wait, 73%? How is that even possible? That sounds insane.
It's almost all from one thing: eliminating egress fees.
Okay, for anyone listening who doesn't know that term.
Egress fees are basically the penalty costs the big cloud providers charge you to take your own data out of their system.
They charge you to access your own data.
Heavily. By moving to European providers with different models, those punitive hidden costs just disappear. The sovereign choice becomes the financially superior choice.
So if we pull the lens back even further, beyond Europe and the US, we have to talk about energy.
The energy consumption. That's the real sleeper story of the AI race.
The numbers are skyrocketing.
They are. And look at the Middle East, the GCC countries. They're planning to invest over $30 billion by 2030 in AI data centers.
And they're leveraging their unique position.
Exactly. They have abundant, stable solar and nuclear power. This isn't just about having electricity. It's about providing massive, cheap, secure compute power. That could fundamentally reshape the entire global competition by the end of the decade.
Okay, so that's the regulatory and geopolitical map. Let's get into the tech that's making all this happen, because we are moving past the era of one single giant model.
We are. The focus is shifting to many agents, orchestrated intelligence.
And there are two big shifts here that stand out.
The first is the rapid rise of embodied AI, specifically vision language action models, VLA models.
Okay, VLA. Let's pause on that. What makes a VLA model different from something like GPT-4?
So a traditional LLM deals in digital concepts, right? Text, maybe images.
Right.
A VLA model like NVIDIA's Alpamayo R1 integrates three things: sight, language, and the ability to act in the physical world. It connects a human command, visual understanding, and physical output.
So it's not just about writing an email, it's about achieving a real-world objective.
Exactly.
Give us a practical example that makes that stick.
Okay, think about industrial robotics. We're getting to a point of needing almost zero traditional programming. A recent simulation showed a forklift being controlled by simple speech command.
What?
Something like, hey, take that yellow box from bay 3 and bring it to the storage area. The VLA model handles the maneuvering, avoiding obstacles, all of it. You talk to it like a coworker, you don't code instructions for it.
That's a complete game changer for logistics. So what's the second big technological shift?
It tackles the other huge constraint: energy. This brings us to photonic computing.
Computing with light.
Right. It's a potentially huge climate-friendly solution. Instead of pushing electrons, you're using light. And these photonic processors can do calculations in less than half a nanosecond with way, way lower power consumption.
So you get speed and sustainability.
Yes, especially for the inference stage, when a model's already trained and just running. But it's important to keep context here. Photonics is accelerating existing methods. Quantum machine learning, well, that's the more fundamental disruption, creating entirely new ways to calculate things.
So with that tech foundation, what does this mean for competitive advantage? It sounds like we're moving beyond just having the biggest data set.
We are. The future competitive edge isn't just about knowledge data anymore. It's about a deep, nuanced understanding of identity.
Which is the foundation for what the sources are calling large identity models.
Exactly.
How does that work? What are the building blocks?
It's built on 4 types of memory: You have your standard knowledge memory, the facts the model was trained on,
Okay.
but then you add three more intimate layers.
Yeah.
First, behavioral memory, your habits, your clicks, what you buy. Second, experience memory data from real-world sensors, your location, your heart rate, the tone of your voice.
And the deepest layer is the identity memory.
That's the one. Identity memory captures your stable patterns, your values, your emotional rhythms. The goal is for the AI to act like the same mind every day, to have a personality that's predictable and reflective of you. It's moving from a tool to an extension of the self.
So if we connect this back to the world of work, the whole AI is replacing creativity hype has definitely calmed down.
It has. The consensus now is that AI doesn't replace creativity. It shifts its focus. The traditional agency structure, though, that's effectively dead. It's giving way to hybrid models.
And this has led to a huge shift in who gets to be a creator, the builder shift, as they're calling it.
Yes. You have tools now like Lovable, a startup from Stockholm. They call their paradigm vibe coding.
Vibe coding.
Yeah, so instead of writing technical code, you just describe the intention, the vibe of the app you want. Lovable then generates and deploys the full stack code.
Which empowers non-technical people to build complex things. It gets rid of that old...
The dev begging culture.
Exactly.
That's the positive side. But there's a very dark side to this, isn't there? The industrialization of deception.
It's genuinely unnerving. The scale of it is an infrastructure problem now. You have companies like Doublespeed backed by major VCs like A16Zs.
And what are they building?
An infrastructure to orchestrate thousands of synthetic social media accounts. And they're not just virtual. They use physical devices to mimic real user behavior and evade detection. And their company slogan is just, it's shockingly blunt.
It is. It's never pay a human again. They see the human creator as an expensive variable to be automated and replaced by industrial-scale synthetic factors.
And this is not a future problem. We're seeing it in the wild now.
That's right. An analysis of the discussion around the Microsoft layoffs on X.com this year found that 29% of the accounts were fake, were synthetic.
29%.
It shows the staggering industrial capacity for creating fake narratives right now. Narratives designed to influence public opinion, markets, anything.
So if these systems are trained on our data and are being industrialized for deception, can they ever really be neutral?
This brings us to a really crucial philosophical point. The whole idea of neutrality in AI is, well, it's an illusion. The philosopher Wittgenstein said there's no neutral standpoint outside of human context.
And AI systems just play the dominant language game they were trained on.
Exactly. And since most of that foundational data, the culture, the history, comes from the global north.
The bias is baked in from the start.
It's structural. The AI reflects the values of its creators and its data. And the systems that claim to be objective are actually more dangerous because they hide that cultural bias deep in the code, presenting it as mathematical truth. Wow. We covered a massive amount of ground today.
We did.
The shift to liability with the EU AI Act, the geopolitical race for sovereign infrastructure, driven by things like egress fees and energy.
And the cutting-edge tech, the rise of embodied AI agents, and this move toward large identity models.
Ultimately, this all comes down to trust.
It has to. As these systems move from being tools to being intimate partners in our health, our finances, they must earn that trust. The sources really show two paths forward: an extractive platform economy or a true humanistic partnership.
And that need for trust brings us back to those large identity models and our ability to control them. So we'll leave you with a final provocative question to think about. In an age of large identity models, a system has to prove it's committed to your long-term well-being, even if that means overriding your short-term satisfaction.
So what specific function would an AI need to perform, or maybe more importantly, refuse to perform, to prove that it truly prioritizes your well-being over your immediate desires? Think about that as you navigate this new industrial AI landscape.